everyone, this is Amanda, Amanda's Booktopia. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. And today is a very special announcement video. You're probably wondering why I sound a little bit congested, because this is not a normal voice. I am getting over a cold, started Monday, now it's Thursday, and it's not gone away yet. But I really want to get this out to you guys, because this is very, very exciting, because I have been waiting to do this for a while. So I did not know if I wanted to do it right away, because I did not know how to go about start doing this kind of thing. But everyone's been telling me that I've talked to you about it. You should start it, Amanda. Come on, Amanda, start it. We want you to do it. So now I'm doing it, everyone. And I am very excited to announce my new book club. It's going to be all dedicated to fantasy books. And we're not going to be doing it in like one specific type of fantasy, because I wanted to mix it up and make it a little bit different. So instead of just doing one type of fantasy the whole time, I'm going to do different types of fantasies. So we're going to have like new releases, you're going to have YA, we're going to have an adult fantasy, we're going to have something indie, just to make it a little bit different. So that way each month we're not always doing just adult books or just YA, because there's all types of fantasy out there. So I have decided on the next 4 books we're going to be doing for the rest of the year, starting from September. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to go with a new release for September, just because a lot of great fantasy came out this year, and well, we might as well do some new releases, right? So for the new release I picked for September, we're going to start with Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Emma Torres. It just came out in, I think, June, and it was very recent. Let me check the date to be certain. Well, it only says 2023. But it did just come out this year, because I picked this up from Book of the Month Club in June. So I'm pretty sure it came out in June, because that's where the Book of the Month released it. And I am very much excited to read this. And so this is going to be our pick for September. If you want to know anything about this, I will also link it down below. I'm going to put all the links to all the books from Amazon in the description, so you can also get yourself a copy if you're interested. Or if you want to go to Book of the Month Club and get the Book of the Month Club edition, I will also be linking my referral, so you can also get a good deal on your first book. And I will also talk a little bit about each of these books, so that way you have a kind of an idea. So this one is a fantasy bookish book. This one has Joanna and Esther. They are half sisters, and they're supposed to be guarding these ancient and rare books. Their whole family are guarding these books, and these sisters, Joanna and Esther, they've been raised to revere and protect these books. And the sisters end up getting separated. And then their father dies, and then while reading a book, which is very, very weird. But I am interested in finding out why he dies while reading a book. So the sisters have to reunite after their father dies to preserve their family legacy, and then they uncover a world full of magic and everything under the sun. So I am very much excited to read this for September, and I hope you all join me in reading it. I don't know when the live show will be, but as soon as I know the dates, I will let everybody know when those dates will be. But this is our September book club pick for Amanda's Fantasy Booktopia. I like that title. Gives it a good rate. And then the next one that we're going to be reading for October, we have a YA book for this one. So we're going to go from a new release to a YA. And this is Stealing Infinity by Allison Noel. This is a school setting fantasy because they're in this academy called Grey Wolf Academy. And it's a school for time travelers. And there's also, I believe, a little bit of romance in this. So it's like a fantasy with romance and academy, and I love fantasy academy stories. And I just think it's going to be so much fun. And for those who have never heard of this author before, she is a mostly YA author, fantasy, for the most part. She wrote the Evermore series, I think that's what it's called. And I absolutely loved that series. It might just be the Ever series, I can't remember. But it's a really great series I highly recommend, which I will get to that probably in another video. But this one was probably her first, or one of her newer releases in a while. And she has recently put out a second book in this series. But I thought it'd be fun to read it from the beginning first before we get to that. So this is our YA fantasy pick for October. And because there's fantasy-like creatures, I thought it'd be great to read in October. Because, you know, fantasy, paranormal, they kind of go hand in hand a little bit. So I'm very much excited for us to be reading this in October. And then for November, I decided to go indie. Because, you know, there's a lot of indie fantasy out there, and not many people read a ton of indie fantasy. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to mix it up and throw some indie in there. And so I will also link this down below for you guys. So if you want to grab it for yourself, you can, because I know it's not widely known. And this is South Wind by C.L. Larson. And I will tell you what this one's about, because this is not very popular because of it being indie. And I don't think I've heard anybody in the BookTube universe talk about this one yet, at least that I've seen so far. And I think this will be really fun. Right now, the paperback is only $3 and change. So if you get it as soon as this video releases, you might still be able to get that price. So I will link the Amazon link for you guys down below. And let me read to you what this is about, because in case you decide you want to go for it. A secret organization is plotting war. The takeover of the Empire is their goal. Titan's armies are now ready to make their presence known, and the Empire of Winds, fractured by plots and rumor, is ripe for destruction. Ulrich, having only remembered seeing his father once, knowing of his mother only by the stories he had heard, lived a merchant's life with his uncle and cousin Vincent. After returning from their winter trip into the Western Territory, a strange man comes to town. He brings with him the Silver Skull relics, a horde of evil on his tail, and news of the death of Ulrich's father. Known as the Reaper's Hand, Ulrich's father was respected by some, despised by most, and now Ulrich is in possession of his father's power and the responsibility that comes with it. The people of the Empire are in need of a hero, but will Ulrich be the hero they need? I think it's going to be so much fun for us to read together. And as soon as I know all the dates for the live shows, I will let everybody know. And then for December, I decided to go with an adult fantasy. And this author is mostly known for her YA series. I think this is her first foray into adult. But I think this is going to be so much fun for us to read in December. And this is The Foxglove King by Hannah Whitten. I know there are some people that I've seen on BookTube talk about this a little bit. But for those that don't, I will give you a quick description. Laura has been living by her wits since she was a child, running poisons for the cartel that took her in, avoiding the attention of the law, and keeping her affinity for death magic a secret, because mortem is a rare and illicit commodity and using it could mean death. When a job goes wrong and Laura is captured by the Sainted King's warrior monks, she expects a pyre. But King August has a different plan. Entire villages on the outskirts of the country have been dying overnight, seemingly at random. Laura could either use her magic to find out what's happening or die, and the king suspects his arrogant, handsome heir is behind it. Thrust into a lavish court where no one can be believed and even fewer can be trusted, Laura must navigate an intricate web of politics, religion, and forbidden romance and solve the king's mystery. A mystery more dangerous and twisted than Laura could even imagine. That sounds like a ton of fun, and I cannot wait for us to be reading this in December. So these will be our book club picks for the rest of the year. If you want to grab a picture of all these books, so that way you could go look for them if you would choose to. Here's the stack with all the titles, if you're interested in taking a quick picture. And maybe I should do it this way. This might be a better way of doing it. We'll do it this way. And I really hope that all of you will come join me on this new fantasy book club. And we will be doing this throughout the year. I will change it up when it gets to January. And so that way we don't start the year with another adult fantasy, because we're ending this year with an adult fantasy. And then it's going to be like these 4 categories basically of fantasy. So throughout the year of next year, I will be mixing up what months we're going to be reading what type of fantasy. So I don't want us to have to go in from YA to one YA or one indie to one indie. So we're going to mix it up and have some fun with it. If you have any suggestions of any books you think that I should read or we should read together for this book club, please let me know, either in the comments or wherever you feel like letting me know. If you know me, let me know as well, like in person, that is. And if you decide to join me, please let me know in the comments, because I would love for everyone to participate in this awesome new fantasy book club. And I can't wait to get started. So September, you can start reading whenever you feel like it. Doesn't have to be at the beginning of the month. It could be the end, the middle, whenever you have time. It does not have to be in physical form either. You could get the ebook, you could get the audiobook, whatever form you prefer to get it in is perfectly fine, because I want everyone to have a chance to read at their own speed. So this is going to take place over a whole month. And then the live show will probably be either the end of the month or the beginning into the next month. And I think it's going to be so much fun. And I hope you all join me. This is going to be a great time. And thank you so much for watching this new book club announcement video. And if you like this video, give me a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more bookish content and follow me for more book club news, subscribe down below. And I can't wait to see you all in the next video.